Demi Moore is Elizabeth Sparkle. Stars faded a bit, and her agent's even like, hey, once you hit 50, you hit the wall and it's over. Like, what's over? She's still fine as hell, dude. She's aging like fine wine. She's 60. So they're tearing down her things off of billboards and shit. She's feeling a little bit old, but like, if I could just be a little bit younger and stuff, I could turn my career around. And she gets into a car accident, goes to a doctor's office. She picks up a fire stick, and it's basically an ad for this thing called the substance. It splits your DNA and clones you, and it's a hotter, younger self of you. I guess sort of just like having a child. Oh, hey, it's a metaphor for drugs, right? You're feeling old, take some drugs and feel good about yourself, right? So she signs up for it, gets the thing mailed to her. And even without like reading the reviews or like asking somebody or a recommendation, she takes the dose. Man, it's not like steroids or Ozempic or something. You can ask around. She takes it, and backburster happens, and out comes Sue. In no time at all, she auditions and gets like an aerobics video. The same sort of show that Demi Moore had with all that young butt. And becomes like a hit sensation. You gotta keep the link strong between you two. Like, you gotta take juice out of her back and see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You gotta take one every day just to like stabilize yourself. But Sue actually goes like, well, I have some work dates. They won't let me off every other week. Maybe I could stay like another day or something like that. Then that totally fucks up what they call like the balance. And Demi Moore starts like aging rapidly and like becoming all grotesque. Like, it first starts off with her hand becoming like a witch. The more serum and the more days you go over, you become more like a monster. So she stays out for like 3 months or everything. They're like, oh, can you make it till New Year's? Sue waited for as long as she could until she totally ran out of back juice. And then she's like, oh man, I gotta switch or I'm gonna die. Now Demi Moore is a complete hideous monster. Or actually kicks like the dude out. She calls up the substance place like, hey, I have a hunchback. I'm totally Nosferatu gross. Cancel my service. So she goes out, she picks up like the final thing where it's like, do you want to terminate this? Yes. Needle was like full of like black goo, and you're like, well, it's going to kill her. But then she sort of has like regrets as soon as she like plunges it. And then she does like the switch needle, and then I think it just terminates their connection. Which is like, you should have done that the whole time. Then both of you could just be living your lives. Actually like changes their mind like, hey, bitch, wake up. You need to wake up. You got this New Year's thing today. Sue sees the needle and she goes, hey, you tried to off me. No. And then they have this like epic fight. It's fun. Demi Moore can beat up Sue and everything because it's like she's a younger self. Even like right now, me in my prime would kick the shit out of me today. I can't compete with that guy. This old lady is pretty resilient too. Like, boo! That was like a Mortal Kombat kick. That would be enough for an old lady like that. And then she just like demolishes her. And a common theme with all these like horror movies I've been seeing, it's like, well, no. Even though I started off somebody and committed a crime, I'm still got work to do. Tonight's my big night. But she ended the life of Demi Moore. That's like the prime person. And you guys are one, so you are starting to fall apart. Her teeth starts falling out. Her ear. Her whole thing is over. She got this big show. They're like, why don't you smile? Pretty creepy. And so she's like, well, if I take the activator, then I can make a better version of myself too. And that's not how it works. It's only supposed to be done like one time. You can't make a copy of a copy and it ends up being a monster. If you have a place to be, you gotta be there. So she's really looking forward to this. She tries to put on some makeup, and she takes a photo of Demi Moore's face, put lipstick around it. And then there's this whole showgirl scene where she shows up, and everyone freaks out like, oh my god, a monster. It's pretty much like Frankenstein just shows up. It's all like dead alive in there. blood spewing all over the place. I don't even know how much she carries that much blood in her body. I was like, is just this one person? But her head was missing. It grew back. Now she's crawling and she's totally falling apart. She's sort of like deteriorating. She crawls all the way to her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and sort of just melts away. And that is the death of all three of them, the monster, Sue, and Elizabeth Sparkle.